There was a moment in the 17th century when a single flower could cost as much as a luxury house. We are not talking about a jewel, not about a work of art, but about a tulip. It was called Semper Augustus, and to own one of its bulbs, someone paid as much as 6,000 Dutch florins, an enormous sum for the time. But how can a flower be worth more than a lifetime's income? To understand this, we must go back in time to the 17th century Netherlands. The tulip arrived in Europe in the 16th century, coming from Turkey. It was an elegant plant, unlike the common flowers of European gardens. In the Netherlands, it found the perfect ground, not only in a botanical sense. Dutch society at the time was wealthy, dynamic, and deeply mercantile. International trade had transformed cities into prosperous centers, inhabited by an ambitious bourgeoisie eager to stand out. Soon, the tulip became a status symbol. Owning a rare one meant displaying wealth, taste, prestige. In 1623, a single bulb could cost as much as 1,000 florins. For comparison, the average annual income was about 150 florins. One bulb was worth more than 6 years of work. Among all tulips, one was considered the most beautiful, the rarest, the most desired, the Semper Augustus. White petals streaked with crimson flames, a sharp contrast, almost theatrical. According to sources, only 12 specimens existed. In Haarlem, one of its bulbs was sold for 6,000 florins, a sum with which one could buy land, livestock, or a prestigious house. It is hard to imagine such a scene today, and yet it truly happened. Then in 1637, something changed. Prices had become so high that merchants could no longer resell the bulbs. Demand began to fall. Panic broke out. What we now call the tulip bubble burst suddenly. Many found themselves holding bulbs worth a tenth of what they had paid. Hundreds of people, even very wealthy ones, fell into ruin. A flower had fueled one of the first major speculative phenomena of modern history, and all for something that, in the end, lasts only a few days in spring. But there was another question. Why were those petals so unusual? In the 17th century, no one knew. Cultivating a streaked tulip was like playing the lottery. Some fertilized the soil with pigeon droppings, some mixed it with plaster from old walls, some even watered with pigments. Desperate attempts to reproduce an effect that seemed almost magical. The truth would only arrive in the 20th century. The streaks were caused by a virus infecting the bulb, a virus that blocked the pigment in certain parts of the petal. It was precisely that illness that made it so beautiful, but also fragile. The virus weakened the tulips. It made them less resilient. Over time, the Semper Augustus disappeared. Today, it no longer exists. It remains in paintings, in economic chronicles, in the memory of that extraordinary and fragile season, a flower that embodied the human desire to possess what is rare, and the equally human tendency to push the value of things beyond all logic. Perhaps the story of the Semper Augustus is not only about a flower, it is about us, about how we assign value, about how we desire what is rare, about how much we are willing to pay for something that lasts only a few days. And you? If you had lived in the Netherlands in the 17th century, would you have bought a Semper Augustus bulb, or would you have watched from afar, waiting for spring to pass?